Hey guys, hear me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He leaves you for another. There is always her mother.
Oh no.
I knew where it was going. That's still good. I hate you.
Wait.
Dylan, it's going on the internet. It's going on
That's
the
cool.
internet.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's from what is
That's
it?
a classic.
It's from
I don't know.
No, I swear there's an animation with it.
Doesn't he say
Is
that to
there?
Shifu?
What in the film?
Yeah, doesn't he?
I think you got the wrong version, bro. You got
No, I'm serious, bro.
You know those memes where it's like, damn, don't buy your Blu-ray from Chinatown. Yeah, it's like the Avengers movie, but there's like replaced all the Chitauri with like minions or something. I don't know. There's a great meme. I like that meme. Hey everyone, welcome to the Hear Me Out podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Henry.
I'm one of your hosts, Dylan.
And I'm the last host, Ben.
You know you had a pause between that like last time as well. It's the same pause. The exact same
Really?
pause. Yeah, it's the same pause. I was like, why is there a pause? Anyway, hey, so yeah, Ben, what are our topics for today?
So today we're going to be talking about Kung Fu Panda.
Oh,
Yes.
Cue Kung Fu fighting music.
Exactly. Definitely one from our childhoods. I was how old was I when this came out?
Don't dox
I was
yourself.
definitely very young.
Really young.
I was oh my goodness, this came out in 2008.
Damn, I didn't watch it when it came out then, probably.
I was
like I probably watched it on, like,
7 years
I probably watched it on like
when
DVD.
this came out.
Yeah, I just said
I watched this in the cinema. Holy,
yeah.
nice.
that's unreal.
I was so gassed
dude,
to
I'm
go to
old.
judo class.
I watched it in
after
like
this.
Blu-ray or like DVD.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Every episode we do an older movie, I'm just gonna be like, wow, I'm old.
The thing is, we're always doing movies from like our generation, right? We haven't done any of the old movies that we didn't grow up with, so we don't have any attachment.
We should do.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Kung Fu Panda, banger from our youth. Definitely a very memorable movie for me. Like, preparing for the podcast, even having not rewatched it, like before I rewatched it and all of that, there's so many specific things that I remembered, even though it was so long ago. And I've not even rewatched it that many times. Like we'll talk later on about the Prison Escape.
Absolute masterpiece right there.
Like we'll talk about the soundtrack, the amazing. Yeah. Do you guys have good memory of the movie or anything like that?
Of course, yeah. Just, I don't know, it was so hype as a kid. And I think for lots of people in our generation as well, and even in China as well, I think there's lots of like people really appreciated how it kind of represented the culture.
Yeah. I'll tell you something interesting, right? Not to get like too political or anything here. But there's a bit of like raising tensions between, Western Hollywood, sort of just Western countries and China, and then subsequently Hollywood, which is American. But I feel like a movie like Kung Fu Panda, which is set in China and has characters that are basically meant to be like Chinese animals. And also another one is a movie like Karate Kid from 2010 with Jaden Smith, set in China.
Oh, God.
I feel like movies like that wouldn't really get made today and be received the same way that those were, just given the way the world
was that received well? Was Karate Kid received well? Like, not original.
It's a banger.
No.
I mean, no one had an.
Jaden Smith Karate Kid.
Really? You think that movie is a banger?
I loved it. I mean, it made loads of money,
Did it?
And there was no. It did, but it had a budget of $40 million. It made almost $400 million.
That's pretty good.
But certainly, I think there was very little discussion about the fact that it's.
What happened to Jaden, man?
In China. Yeah, exactly. Not that there should be any discussion about the fact that it's set in China, but given just politics and all that, I feel like that might be a point of contention today.
Yeah, I think now.
Do you guys kind of get that sense?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having said that, they're making Kung Fu Panda 4.
maybe what I'm saying is completely
false.
But people are. people are offended by like anything, but I do want to circle back to the fact that you think Karate Kid was a good movie.
Okay. Admission, right? I've
Yes.
actually not seen the original one, so that probably
No,
clouds
I
my
haven't.
judgment.
I haven't seen the original either.
Oh, the Jaden Smith one is awesome. What's wrong with it? You know, it's a good plot line. The villain's kind of despicable. You know, very easy to hate. Chemistry between him and Jackie Chan's great. You know, the good. I mean, it's not amazing, but you know, it's serviceable. It's
Okay.
good. I enjoyed it. But you know, I'll
And
tell you what, Karate Kid from 2010, the Jaden Smith one, had Jackie Chan,
yes.
who's also
Oh.
in Kung Fu Panda because he plays Monkey.
I can't believe they got Jackie Chan to play Monkey.
Yeah,
I don't know.
sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think isn't there like a interesting story behind that casting? I swear there is something about him playing Monkey.
Is there?
I don't remember, but that's maybe I should.
Nothing that I'm aware of, but I gotta say, he's not particularly like important in the
Not
movie,
at all.
despite being Jackie Chan. I think the real standouts in terms of the characters are Po, of course. Shifu's awesome. Oogway doesn't have too much screen time, but he's important. Ai Lung kills it.
Yeah,
Fantastic
definitely.
villain, which we'll talk about later. And Tigress is pretty cool too. And slight shout out, slight shout out to Poe's dad, Mr. Ping. He's awesome. Yeah. Well, his dad in the first movie, at least.
Yes, his dad, biological dad, obviously, as far as we know.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But what do you guys think sort of makes the movie so? Why do you guys think it has such broad appeal? Like it's such an easy movie to like, you know?
Monkey.
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 You think it's because of Monkey?
Monkey.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, to me, I think the characters are really relatable.
Yeah.
Like it's you know, obviously the setting is absurd, right? You've got a panda doing kung fu with other animals doing kung fu, and he's like, you know, this big old silly panda who somehow masters kung fu in like a week, and has a dad who's a literal goose, and he doesn't think there's anything weird about his dad being a goose. It's like the whole thing's bizarre, really. But I think generally it works because Poe is a highly relatable character, right? He's like sort of an odd one out who
Likeable as well.
he's obviously very likable, very funny, very entertaining, but he's a bit of an odd one out character that has ambitions way beyond the things he's currently doing, right?
Yeah.
And then he's put into a strange, unexpected situation, right? He gets picked as the Dragon Warrior, and then basically is able to live up to that by just accepting the circumstances he's in, and then working really hard to meet the expectations. And like that's actually a pretty universal. The themes are pretty universal ultimately. And I think even if you're a young kid like I was when I watched it, and like you guys were, where you don't really understand all of those themes in that much depth, you get it on a more underlying level. Like it just makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
So
I see that.
So I think the big theme for me that I really enjoyed, and I still, and one of the reasons I watch it like yearly, is the movie plays into this very well because okay, so like for one example, it's like Crane, right? He has his wings are wings; they are not hands. In the same way, and all the animals are animals. And this is the point I'm trying to make is that this movie, like you said, it's about him overcoming everything, but it's very much about accepting his skill set, and this is one of the arcs that Shifu has to go through, and it's all these animals. They are unique, they're distinct, they have their own, they have claws or they have paws or whatever. They are their own animals, but to achieve their dreams, to achieve their goals, they have to do it in the way that suits their animal, their being, their specialities. It's not about trying to train someone or be someone in a specific particular way. It's about embracing your strengths in order to accomplish things. And also as a teacher, to recognize that not all students can be taught the same. And no matter how good you are at it, it's again about realizing that the panda requires food. Like it's such a stupid, like when you say it out loud, it's like the panda needs food to do good, right? Or like he needs this food motivation to do well. But that's fine. That's sometimes how it, and that's great. And also just as an added, like as the chubby Asian kid, you know, I like especially related to Mr. Poe, especially in the second movie where he needs to climb stairs. As like, I mean, I'm still the chubby Asian kid, but as that kid, I loved it. I was like, damn, I could be a Kung Fu Panda, and it stuck with me. You know, Poe's like an
That's
inspiration.
actually a really good point. I don't know if you guys remember, but the very first scene where Shifu and Poe speak to each other, Shifu like straight up just is like, "You will never be the Dragon Warrior because you're fat."
Yeah, and
he has
like,
a stick. He just like
him,
just like smacks Poe. He's like,
him. Yeah.
He's like, "You have flabby arms, and look at this ridiculous belly." It's like, whoa. And then of course he proves him wrong, but it's pretty mean, Shifu, to be honest.
They were all quite mean in a different way at the beginning.
I mean, even Tigress was like really mean to him.
Yeah, Tigress was like,
everyone was mean to her. Some of them weren't mean, but like were very much. It very much showed that they didn't really like want him there.
Bro, they were. I guess they were salty as hell. Like,
of course,
the Dragon Warrior.
Because they all thought they deserved it.
They trained. They trained for years, for most of their life, only to be and Tai Lung only to be denied.
Yeah.
In fairness to them, it's like, can you imagine being in their position?
Actually, strangely, I think that like leads on to like the only criticism I probably have for the movie, and it's like, and actually something that I wish was kind of developed in later movies as well, and it's like, it's their arcs, you know. Like, not arcs, right? I don't think they needed a whole storyline. But it would be interesting for these characters who are really close. And this is more criticism of this, almost the trilogy as opposed to just the first movie. But it'd be interesting if these characters were just had a little bit more. And that's why I really enjoyed, you know, they did origin specials for them.
I've not seen him.
Yeah, they're origin specials, and you kind of see like how Oogway recruits like Monkey and Viper.
That's where the clip comes from.
Yeah, it does. That's where the monkey clips on. Yeah, monkey.
Oh, I've seen.
Yeah, that's the origin special, and I wish that was kind of addressed or maybe mentioned or something because well, you know, when Tigress talks about Tai Lung, the way that it's framed. It shows that, and then at the very end, like, you know, it's like the backstory scene and everything, and then at the very end, Shifu is like training a new student, but he looks like dejected, right? Like he trained his like star pupil, and that new student in the flash. So the reason I really like this is, if Tigress is telling the story, right? She's telling the story as if like she's saying, oh, Tai Lung did this, and then Shifu like lost the child basically, and then he could never train another student. And what I loved was that when she was telling the story to Poe, he doesn't know who the new student that he couldn't train anymore was. But in the flashback, it's very much young Tigress being like not treated as well. And I just like really enjoyed that like small little detail. And it's something that I wish Tigress, and then in the second movie, Tigress becomes more of a friendly companion. But there's a really like, I think that this character, Tigress especially, is like so much potential for almost an entire movie by herself. You know, it's like this like Ice Queen.
Agree.
Yeah, but anyway,
she's a great character.
But she's a great character that has more potential than just what they've shown.
No, I know what you mean. I mean. Honestly, the rest of Furious 5 are really uninteresting in the movies.
They are.
Besides Tigress. And they basically never get a good look in.
Unless you've seen the TV shows.
Yeah, of course, there's other stuff. Most people haven't.
Yeah, they haven't, right? Exactly.
And, missed opportunity for the writers in the studio, for sure.
But what about the characters that they do well?
They're so good. So good.
Anyone wants to... You guys want to talk about Shifu or Tai Lung or... Yeah.
So, fun fact, right, about Shifu. Do you guys know that he is also a panda?
It is red panda.
He's a red panda, so he's also a panda. He's just a red panda.
But
And they give Poe so much shit for being a panda, and that motherfucker is also a
He's
panda.
also-
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
but
Seriously.
Oh, my
The Uncle
goodness.
Ruckus of
Hypocrite,
pandas.
man.
Ah,
Why is it
yeah,
like this?
exactly.
But also, not to just not to keep butting in with like fun facts, but do you guys know what Dustin Hoffman looks like? He voices Shifu.
Yes.
So if you Google him, he's a bit older now. He kind of has these pretty pronounced bags under his eyes, and Shifu has like they're not bags, right? Because it's just like his markings as a red panda.
Yeah.
But he has what basically looks like bags under his eyes, and he actually really looks like Dustin Hoffman if you Google him, which
Yeah.
I found pretty amusing.
Great casting.
Yeah, but he does a great job as Shifu because to me, Shifu always seems really, really sort of aggravated about things and really tense,
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a cool character.
It makes sense.
It's a funny contrast to like Uguay as well. You have this like high-strung kind of we must do everything right kind of character, and then Uguay is just like what comes will come, or I'm kind of like
what is coming, bro? What is it?
Yes.
I don't know. I couldn't possibly say
Something in the morning, but I can't.
Jesus.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Shifu is
No comment.
Shifu is like your like the representation of the strict teacher, right? And they like humanize him a little bit with the whole Tai Lung backstory and explain why he's gone through, like why he has now become this soulless teacher who needs to just who trains, right? He still cares about his students to an extent, but very much from the very opening scene of how you see him interact with his students, he's like, okay, you did this wrong, you're not good enough, no matter what. That's the person he's become, someone who almost points out flaws instead of finds the positive. And like you said, it's this like contrast with the juxtaposition with him in every way with Uguay. He's fast, Uguay is slow, he's short, Uguay's tall, he's strict, Uguay is chill, and it's this yin and yang that they've created intentionally, of course, as the dynamic. But the thing is, Uguay is a master and a teacher, but the only two people he really teaches is Poe and Shifu, right? He doesn't, and he almost doesn't really teach them. He's more,
and then he just leaves.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's I think that Uguay leaving scene.
My time has come.
Yeah. That's a really important scene.
It's great, honestly,
because it's beautiful in terms of music. You can talk more about the music if you want, and visually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the song they play, Uguay Sens, in that scene is beautiful. It's so good, and it works so well with the scene. Like he's on this edge of a cliff, and then the petals rather, the flowers wrap around him, and then he disappears. It feels a little bit Force Ghosty, like when Obi-Wan just kind of disappears in A New Hope.
Luke and,
I mean, he does come back as a ghost.
That's true.
Thingy.
That's true.
Spirit.
He does come back as a ghost. And when you see Uguay later in the Spirit Dimension in the third movie.
Sorry, that's what I mean.
It's pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
But no, that's a great scene, and it's sort of it's a turning point in the movie as well, because prior to that, Shifu is basically like, this panda will never be the Dragon Warrior, and he just like beats the crap out of Poe when they train and stuff, and they'll bully him,
Trying to make him quit.
and then Shifu finds out that Tai Lung escaped, and he's like, oh Lord, this is bad, and he goes to Uguay and he's like, Mister, Tai Lung escaped.
That is bad.
Basically, like,
no, he's like,
he's basically
Master,
like,
there's bad news. There is no bad news. There is just news.
There is no bad news.
Tai Lung has escaped. Oh, that is bad. God.
No, it's like it's more than that because it's like that is bad news if you believe that.
There's
Uh,
the Dragon Warrior
he
kind
does
of,
something. Yeah.
Yeah. But then Uruguay's basically like, well, that's crazy, man. Good luck dealing with
No,
that.
but you see,
I'm just gonna go now.
no, but you see
Disappears.
that's it's such a the reason I really like this scene. It's like I think from a surface level, it's like yeah, like Turtle's chilling out, man. Like he had he took a dope and he's out. He's like he's becoming one with the universe. But actually, like the Tai Lung was stopped last time by Uguay very easily,
Exactly.
and it's to fulfill their destinies, both Shifu, Po, Tai Lung, he cannot interfere. He is not
Exactly.
meant to be there for them to achieve what they need to do. And because he has become a crux for Shifu for the first like half of the movie, not even half, but like the first like 20 minutes,
Oh,
like
crutch,
every
you mean?
a crux, sorry. Right? Crux? Is that what I'm thinking?
Crutch?
Crutch.
Yeah.
English is hard.
Maybe.
Professional writer, by the way. It's like because he's become like an easy out for Shifu to go complain or ask for help or a potential like last resort.
Ask for guidance.
Yeah, like at the back of Shifu's mind, while
Uguay actually teaches his students, unlike Shifu, kind of just.
Yeah, but at the back of Shifu's mind before Shifu leaves, he's like, yeah, like Tai Lung's coming, but Shifu's just gonna, it's chill, like worst case.
Uguay's gonna help.
Yeah.
Or Uguay will just.
He'll just he'll just ping pong him again and he'll fall down. So, but when he removes when he removes his safety blanket, the crutch, then then he has to grow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then of course after that, Shifu finally believes in Po, and it's actually funny. Like when I rewatched it, I sort of forgot the scene, but basically Shifu goes and tells Po, "How long has returned?" And then Po just literally runs out of the fucking main palace and runs away screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Shifu catches up to him and is basically like forcing him to stay. And so it's a hilarious contrast from him literally kicking him down the stairs of the Jade Palace to Shifu being like, "No, stay."
Yeah, because his master told him.
Teach him from there.
Because his master told him that the Dragon Warrior will do it, but he still doesn't believe it at that point.
Yeah.
And then it's.
And I think.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, please go.
Please, and then it's like Poe's whole like outbreak after he's like, "You have to defeat Tai Lung." He's like, "How? And I think that's like a really powerful question. How? How do you make Po the Dragon Warrior? How?
Exactly. And then it leads to some of the other interesting bits. Like, so the first time Shifu basically sees potential in Po, again in typical animated movie comedic fashion, it's because Po basically rifles through the kitchen to look for snacks.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, linking that kind of comedy element to pushing the story forward and showing it. But yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Well, Shifu walks in, and the kitchen's just like totally destroyed and ransacked, and then basically Po's like, "Oh, well, he's got like a mouthful of cookies. He's like, well, I eat when I'm stressed." And then Shifu goes, "Oh, well, I thought you were just gonna find Master Monkey's cookies that he keeps on the top shelf." Then he walks out, and then Po fucking somehow gets like 10 feet in the air and just like splits across the cabinets to get to the cookie jar. And Shifu walks back in, and he's like, "How the f- did you get up there?" And realizes, so this guy can do impressive things if he has the right motivation, if he believes in himself, and if I guide him the correct way. And then it leads to their cool training montage and Po growing his character and Shifu growing his character. It's great.
Training
exactly.
hard. Yes. And it's also when he does the splits, it's like the callback to the earlier scene where he couldn't do it.
When he couldn't do the splits.
Yeah. It's some growth.
But for food.
But for food, he can do anything. But I mean,
I'm very similar, actually.
You can do splits for food.
I also could do.
I can't do splits.
I would do anything for.
I would try, but I'd like break something.
Yeah, I would definitely try.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then they train a whole bunch, and then basically, I think just.
Okay, we're going through the whole.
Well, actually,
you're going through.
No, I know. Sorry. Oh, okay, we should talk about the prison break scene because that happens before the scene we just talked about.
Yes.
Oh my lord,
Yeah.
so cool. I mean, I
Such a
think
cool
the action scenes as a whole are really good
Yeah, all of them.
because the movie it's interesting with animation. Right? Nothing you're seeing is real. You can't rely on real world physics to make things look real.
Mm,
So the movie strikes a really good balance between the things that they're doing looking basically impossible and very cool and very dynamic, but also like looking like they have impact, right? You don't want like two clearly CGI characters. It's like when you have two real CGI characters in the live action movie, and they just look like sort of rubber animals that are hitting each other with no impact.
yeah.
Like the strikes land with impact. They sort of it just looks dynamic
Mm.
um yet somewhat believable. It's
It's
really
like
well
a
done. But I
whip.
don't know. What do you guys think of the
Yeah.
prison scene? What a scene!
Oh, it's so good. I mean, I also like how it kind of is brought about by Shifu being
Yeah, that's the main
nervous
quote. That's
and
the quote.
sending the
Yeah,
messenger to like check on it, and then the
One often
using the
finds its
feather.
destiny on the road to avoid it or something. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
something
that's what
like
Uguay
that.
says. As soon as he's like triple,
Yeah,
Shifu's like triple security, whatever, do whatever, stop
yeah,
it. So,
Yeah,
and then
and they cause it to happen.
yeah, but the thing is, this is reiterated as well because it's the feather from the messenger that gives him the key to unlock his chains. It's the
Yeah.
every time that the rhinos fire a bolt, he uses it.
Why
Either
did they keep
he
shooting?
uses it to destroy
I
his own
know, man.
chains or uses it to shoot back at them. And then so it's
Yeah.
it's no, but you see, but that's the thing, right? Why did they we say why, right? But in the moment, all these characters are like reiterating this theme about like constantly trying to control your destiny
I guess so.
and trying to avoid things and trying to not and trying to find the easiest or the fastest or the most this solution to the inevitable. I mean, it's from a do you believe in destiny standpoint, it's a little bit different, but just in a general sense where it's like sometimes like stressing and trying to figure everything out and trying to plan everything out isn't going to get where you want to get to. So it's
For
Mm.
sure.
interesting.
Yeah, but I think the coolest part of the prison break is when all the stuff falls from the ceiling, like all the
Yeah,
rocks
the
and stuff, and the
arrows.
floor
No.
breaks beneath
Mm.
him. No, 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 no. Like the
Oh, okay,
floor,
different one.
they
Oh, okay,
set off some
Oh,
explosives,
and
right?
he's
And
like,
then
yeah,
so all the rocks
reminds
are
me of.
falling, and he's jumping between the
Oh my
falling
god.
rocks. Oh
Yeah.
my lord! And then he gets that rock at the top and chucks the explosive at them.
yeah,
That was the coolest damn thing when I
so
was a kid.
cool.
Like, I used to like
I was rooting for
imagine
Tai
like
Lung, man.
characters doing the same thing. Like all these cool stunts.
Rooting for
It was
Tai Lung the
awesome.
whole time.
I mean, it just sets up
Hey,
how much of a
he's a good
beast
character.
he is.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Like,
And then
and then
yeah.
at the end, Poe is able to beat him and use his like
yeah,
flaws
exactly.
against him to win.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting when you look at Tai Lung as a villain, right? So he has the villainous part of his character down pretty easily, right? You see him basically kill hundreds of prison guards and then just be a total badass. Um,
Yeah.
but he's a good counterpart to Poe, right? Because basically Poe is so Poe is put in a situation that he didn't expect to be in, right? He's never done kung fu before, even though he loves it. And then next thing you know, he is basically the most important kung fu practitioner in their universe or in their world or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, and then Tai Lung is kind of the opposite, right? He's done kung fu his whole life. He's super
Mm.
talented. He's worked incredibly hard, and he thinks that he deserves the title of Dragon Warrior. But
Yeah.
fate has it that he doesn't get to that position. And the main difference between, well, one of the main differences between the two is that Poe is able to accept his circumstances, work hard, and make something good out of it. But Tai Lung
Mm.
just can't. He just cannot accept that reality doesn't match his expectations.
Yeah.
Um, and it sets up a really nice conflict between both of them. And it sort of relates to, I think, the greater theme of a quote unquote inner peace, right? Poe is able to get closer to that, a bit like what Uguay sort of has. This
Mm.
feeling of letting things happen, um, but Tai Lung he just can't. You know, he's too bitter and
the
all of
sad
that.
thing.
Rage.
The sad thing is, I think this is. I mean, I think that's why they established the Tai Lung Shifu relationship as a almost
Of course.
parental one, because
Yeah.
it's. I mean, like, yes, he's the villain, right? And yes, he can't accept his circumstances, but also he was like his parenting, like the relationship with Shifu and how they like established that, like, very makes, like, I can understand why his expectations are so high, and ultimately also why that when it doesn't meet them, and even to the very end his parent is still like thinks that he should have been it, that he became a villain. Or yeah, I did not phrase that well, but the point is,
I get it.
he's one of those like villains, you know, like it's kind of overdone at this point, but it's like the relatable villain that's been through a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But he's
But
one of the
you're
OG
right.
ones, you know. He's
You're
not
right.
evil.
And it's what we mentioned before. Like, the themes of the movie are really relatable. I mean, it's like, you
Yeah.
know, you have expectations that you can't meet. I mean, who hasn't felt that?
Mm.
So yeah, it's really good. But it's also interesting, the sort of contrast, I guess, with him and Tigress, um, and sort of his relationship with Shifu, right? Because Shifu basically has this student Tai Lung who, you know, is like his best student. He loves him so much. Um, he raises him, and then Tai Lung isn't what he, you know, as much as Shifu tries to push him in the right direction, Tai Lung isn't what he thought he was. And then Shifu's response to that is to basically, you know, obviously he can't have a relationship with Tai Lung, but then he basically sort of stays the same person, you know, except he probably becomes a bit more extreme. He keeps trying to force things into the way that they should be, right? And that almost becomes even more extreme. So he goes the wrong way. And then he meets Poe, who is able to kind of have this inner peace and accept the circumstances as they are. He learns that from Poe. And then by the end of the
I
movie,
disagree
you know,
though.
I think, oh, tell me, why do you
I
disagree?
don't think, I think especially Poe at this stage where he hasn't gone through Inner Peace arc, but I don't think
Okay, sure.
Poe is like, I don't think Poe's character is
Mhm.
is an example of accepting things as they are, because like from
Okay.
the very, like, especially like when like oh god, okay. Okay, there's two examples I'd go to. Like the first one where it's when he gets picked as Dragon Warrior and he's like trying to train and whatever, right? Oh god. Okay, give me a second. Redoing it. When he
Compose your
finds
thoughts.
out that Tai Lung has escaped, even though after he's like gone through all this stuff, he reacts like anyone else would. You know, he's like he runs. He runs like instantly. It's like in his instinct to do so because he doesn't believe that he's not good enough, and I think that the only way he actually feels that he's good enough. I mean, there's two parts to it. There's the one part, the realization of the secret ingredient, and there's also the training that he goes through with Shifu. So I think
Yeah.
that Shifu's actualization was more a result of circumstances, as well as also seeing this like one moment of potential in Poe. Because I think that ultimately Shifu is not an evil person, right? Like he has been training these other five. He has accepted their qualities. He's done it before. He knows how to train students. It's just a matter of seeing past his like prejudices against Poe, because yeah, that's how I'd see it. Instead of like, I don't like, at least I don't see it that he's learning from Poe to be you know, accepting of circumstances.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Perhaps he learns it elsewhere. Although I do think Poe undergoes some of that transformation as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Maybe
No,
he
no,
learns
I
it more from
agree as
Oogway.
well. Yeah, I do agree he does, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's perhaps more from Oogway, as well.
Yeah, like
Because
the
Oogway kind
teachings are
of,
from Uguay. And then I think
yeah,
teachings with the circumstances become
yeah,
reality, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
But it's a
it's the
nice theme overall.
circumstances that like internalize the lessons that Uguay was trying to
Yeah,
give to him all along.
Yeah.
I guess maybe.
that's how I'd put it. Yeah.
I feel that he did have to change to accommodate Poe, though, because he had to understand what really motivated him. Rather than
Yeah.
teaching him his way,
Mm,
the way that he's taught all his students in the past, he had to
Yeah.
adjust his style and change as a teacher to become better. Not to
Yeah.
point out all the flaws, but to
except.
to roll with it, kind
Yeah.
of.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
How funny is it that the dragon scroll just ended up being an empty piece of paper?
Pretty key.
it's
I
a
think
pretty
it's-
another like central theme though.
Yeah.
It was funny, but like it was kind of sick. I kind of loved it. Like as a
Yeah.
as like a like later in my youth, like realizing like the thought put into that, I really enjoyed that because it's a very not conventional way of doing it, right? Like not that I know many other hero stories around that period, but I'd say that the typical expectation is that, oh my god, Poe has undergone training, Shifu has changed, so it's time for Poe to get the secret weapon and then use the secret weapon to defeat the villain. Like that's the best. Like sorry, that's the easiest route they could have taken with this
Yeah.
the conclusion to the film, right? I think that would have made it the most average like animated whatever ever. But the fact that they chose to take this route and do it in this way and present it in this way and then do the callback with the dad and the secret ingredient soup. I love that. That's like such
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
interesting, unique framing that isn't done
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. And that's the other one, right? The secret ingredient of the soup
Secret
is
ingredient,
nothing.
like the secret ingredient to my secret ingredient soup. Soup.
Exactly.
Are you ready to
The
know?
soup is the secret ingredient.
He had the noodle dream. The noodle dream.
Noodle dream.
He was ready.
Yeah. That's so
A
funny,
family of
man.
geese having noodle dreams, and then
Dude, a family of geese having a panda as a kid.
where is
Oh, by the way,
Mm.
another parallel between Poe and Tai Lung. They're both just like basically
adopted?
just found by their dads
Yeah.
somewhere in like tough circumstances, and their dads just
Yeah.
took them in. Different outside of that, of course.
Mm.
Um, oh, dude, the whole noodle thing is so funny though.
Noodles.
Like
The
the
dad
whole
is
opening scene is basically the dad being like, "Oh, you're gonna be a famed noodle maker like me," and he keeps asking Poe things, and Poe's just kind of like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I'll make noodles for the rest of my life."
Yeah.
But it's a kind of like
It's like,
it's a
oh,
cute
Someone
it's a
else's
cute
dream.
nod to like that kind of parental relationship that happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like my
Yeah.
dream isn't your dream, but he's quite accepting of it in the end.
Yeah.
Mm.
Again, very, very relatable, right?
Yeah,
Your parents having
Yeah.
expectations for you that
Expectations, yeah.
are either different to your own or that you just never meet.
Oof. Never meet. Oof.
Oh, sorry.
Damn.
Okay, Henry, it's
Miss-
all of us.
I mean, Mr. Ping is a great dad. He's a great dad.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. No, he is.
And then gives Poe the realization about it's in him the whole time. The power is in him.
Yeah.
It's such a
Can do
Yeah.
it.
such a simple message. But
Yeah.
very powerful and poignant, like regardless.
And delivered so well, right?
Exactly.
You just make well-written characters. It's like none of the storyline is complex. They're just relatively simple storylines, just well delivered, well acted, well animated. I mean,
yeah.
so well done overall.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
You guys think Tai Lung's the best villain of the series?
So Tai Lung and what's his name? The peacock.
From
Master
two.
Shen?
Shen,
Yeah,
right?
peacock.
They are
Is it
similar.
Master Shen? Or
Isn't it
So
like
you think they're
Lord Shen or
similar?
something?
So they're similar.
oh, it's Lord. It is Lord Shen.
Lord Shen. Oh damn.
Yeah.
They're similar, right?
Lord Buckethead.
In the sense that they both have large aspirations. You know, they want to achieve greatness in their own way. Like as a ruler or as a kung fu master, they wanted to be someone.
Powerful.
And then
Yeah.
in both circumstances, they did not get to achieve that because for one, So in Shen's case, his parents like kicked him out, and in Tai Lung's, Uguay said he couldn't be it. So and then they both strike out. Now, Shen's, I think that Tai Lung's striking out was bad, but like the scale of it was smaller.
Definitely.
Whereas, like, you know, genocide on the Lord Shen side.
Christ.
Yeah, like that's what happened. Like he
failed.
And he failed, but I don't know. I think they both. The thing is, right? Shen also becomes the whole like you create. He becomes. They oh god. Shen becomes the person that also exemplifies the you meet your destiny on the road to avoid it. You know, like he acted. He went to go kill all the pandas, and then the pandas kind of avenged him, but not really because oh god, I'm going on a rant. I'm done. No. Kung Fu Panda 2, man. No, you got me started. They're good villains. Thailand good villain. Yeah, I said it. That's what I'm cutting to.
It's really just to briefly touch on the second movie. It becomes very personal for Poe as he has to deal with basically just deal with his past and his background. And Shen is a good villain as a counterpart to that story because he's vicious, man. You know, like definitely. So, like Tai Lung is also vicious, but Tai Lung has pretty directed, pretty targeted rage. He's mainly very angry at Shifu for setting unrealistic expectations for him, and then just angry at all of the Shifu and the other Kung Fu folks because they didn't allow him to be Dragon Warrior. But Shen's just like, I want to take over the world and I'm going to kill him.
I realize my point that I was going to make about Shen and Tai Lung. Okay, so the difference is Shen's parents died, and when he returned, they were already gone. And he goes through the whole movie, and it's up to the very end scene before he dies. He goes through the whole movie with the very much like this sense of like the inability to have closure, the sense of regret, the sense of like dwelling on the past, because he will never be able to confront the people that neglected him. Whereas Tai Lung is more of a figure of rage at this point. There was a point where he's similar to Lord Shen in the sense that he wanted to meet certain expectations and didn't get to achieve those dreams because of others. But now he has become a figure of rage, and he obviously takes it out on his adopted dad and like almost kills him, and I think that the slight difference where they differ, where like Tai Lung is able to take out his anger, and therefore it's more like you said, directed, and then Shen is unable to take out his anger and therefore has launched an army to across China.
With Shen, it's almost like because it's almost like if he was a kid trying to impress his parents. He's like, I'm going to do the most absurd, impressive thing. Except he's an adult and he actually has the resources to take over the whole country.
It's his birthright. It's my birthright.
His birthright. Yeah. But and then I think Kai in the third episode.
Let's
less interesting motivation. Right. But
Still
new
cool.
Kung Fu Panda movie. We should talk about it when it comes out in 2024, I think, right?
Probably. I think next year.
Something like that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it's been a while. And I feel like there's still things they can touch on. I think they've set up a pretty interesting world, and especially there's a number of different like student teacher relationships throughout the series, and I think you can continue that with the current characters, implementing certain things they've learned from their masters, but then facing their own unique challenges. I think there's
Now,
stuff.
now
they
you
can do. I look
mentioned
forward
it,
to
I think the arc I would like to see now, since if we're gonna stick with like Kung Fu Panda and Po as the main character, is now
Yeah.
he's done it, but I think we need teacher Po, no, like real teacher Po,
Exactly.
To create the new generation.
because that would be the final step, right? He has been
Yes.
the student, he has been the inner peace, then the spiritual dragon warrior. So now it's
Dragon warrior.
about being a teacher, and I think
Yeah.
maybe
And you
Shifu
kind
will
of saw that in the
just
third one.
Yeah,
right,
you
where
did,
He's kind of
with the
teaching them
but not real
how to
kung fu
defend
though. He's
themselves.
not kung fu like
Not really.
Yeah.
It's like guerrilla warfare.
yeah.
Or I guess panda
Oh my
warfare.
god.
It is panda warfare.
Has to be. Has to be. Yeah. But anyway, I guess we don't want to
Yeah.
dwell on that.
Future Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Jack Black, I must say, I think that it worked quite well because he had to be comic relief, which makes sense, right? I mean, it's still a kids movie, right? But it worked well, you know. There was enough of the comic relief with the more serious like moments with Poe. So I enjoyed his portrayal, and I don't really think anyone could have done the Kung Fu Panda
He's
voice
unique.
at this point.
No one would have done it like that.
Yeah. And also, actually, I also think I'll give props to how he like portrayed. Poe starts out as this, like we talk about relatable, right? Like especially for us like geeks and nerds, he's like got the action figures, and he's, you know, he like we don't care about kung fu, right? I don't think either of you cared about kung fu, but like you can think about your hobbies when you see him so passionate about them and want to see his like idols, and not idols, those kind of idols, but the idols, you know.
Poe's like us.
Yeah, he just like me for real.
For real.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay.
On God.
Well,
All right.
do you guys have
Thank
any
you guys. That was good.
like closing remarks or like any thoughts, final thoughts? Because I think that's about the time we have.
Yeah. Closing remarks.
Any like last thoughts? Any cool facts?
I
Any?
did address was also the like imposter syndrome stuff. That
Yeah,
Poe
yeah.
goes
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. True.
And that just to mention another like relatable theme.
Yeah.
That I think everyone's experienced at some point.
Yeah. So, do you think that Kung Fu Panda 4 will be received differently given the cultural shift with like furries and that sort of thing?
No. No.
Just putting it out
It's
there.
been cut. It's been cut.
I think
That's been
so.
cut. I think that's been cut.
Isn't it?
cut.
You had Zootopia, and that was not received as a.
I think honestly,
I don't know about that, Dylan.
No,
I've seen some strange things about Zootopia.
you say that, but
Okay, I don't search for these things.
No,
so I
you
don't-
Ben, then you say that, but I think all three of us are like pretty like internet focused, that we see these things, but like the majority of people, including children who watch these, they don't care or don't know.
They don't search
I think
up,
all
like,
normies,
Judy
like
Hopps' feet
the
or
amount of
something.
normies that are like watching these movies that don't like see any part of the internet we're on or any of the meme culture. I think meme culture.
I never said
is
I
big.
was.
Huh?
Yeah, true. Meme culture's
Yeah, but
big.
meme culture's big, but it's
You're right.
also not like as big as non-meme people, you know? Like I think in our bubble it seems pretty big, but like I genuinely think like mainstream people who watch these kind of movies don't ever give furries or anything like that a second thought.
Yeah.
So
Like they don't even know what.
yeah, they don't know what it is. They don't care. They don't think about it. It's not something that comes like when you don't ever have any thought about sexualizing these animals at all. It doesn't come up. Whereas when
It's
we
not
see
only sexual, but it is just often sexual. Unfortunately.
yeah, yes, that's true
It's
too.
kind of.
I think very
Yes.
often.
I think very often as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
That might.
I think for me,
moving on.
I think for me, what I love is just this movie really felt like there was a lot of like care put into it. Like
100%.
I know that like a lot of modern animations, you see a lot of details and a lot of cool little things, but like especially for a movie from 2007, like just all the little details in terms of like almost like world building with the Valley of Peace and like all the mist and the bridges and everything and all
Yeah.
the cultural elements that they bring in, and then also like the other small animation details like the reflections on knives or the shadows and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's just it's a really like pretty film, especially like considering how dated it is. It's still so pretty.
Yeah, the character design is great. As you were
Yeah.
saying, they like sort of humanize the characters. Like, Crane has
Well, they
wing
don't.
hand type of
They
things.
don't.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, like they
They,
do it to a good extent, right?
yeah.
They like give them human abilities, but they're still animals. Is more what I mean.
I also still disagree. I don't think they give him human abilities. Like I think
Well,
that
like
this is one of the
Crane can use hands as like
he doesn't have hands.
Well, but can't Crane pick stuff up? Isn't
No,
that a
he
thing?
uses his beak.
Am I? Oh shit! Does he?
Like
Finn Mandela affected.
I'm like 90%
Okay,
sure he uses his beak. Like
Okay,
this
well, like for
or,
example,
like his claws,
Tiger stands up
his
on
foot
2 feet,
claws, his
and like
claws.
so does Poe.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
Ty-
Like you have to answer.
No. Of course, to an extent. But what I
They do it to a
appreciate,
good extent.
what I appreciate is that they don't do it in the generic way where they just make it a human
Sure.
with wings.
Yeah.
Right? They could have
They
just
don't
very
forget.
easily made humans with wings or human with monkey arms or whatever. Like Monkey. Actually, Monkey is the other really good example. Like, yes, he's very much like his mannerisms are very much like monkey-esque, as opposed
Mantis
to
as well.
Mantis is just straight up a mantis, and Snake is Viper is as well. Like I think Tigress is like the only exception.
The fight choreography is all informed by what animal they are and what they would be capable of.
Exactly.
Like semi-realistically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put a lot of thought
I
into
agree.
that. I think that all the choreography is like based on their animal, based on certain like techniques that they found, and then like applied it to that, because like, and all their fighting styles are really like that. Even though we don't get them fleshed out as characters, all their fighting is really like unique to them.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all we have time for today.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Thank you for listening. You can check us out on usual platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, TikTok.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, we're everywhere. TikTok.
TikTok.
We're releasing shorts and stuff weekly, mostly weekly. And yeah, if you liked, please like, comment, sub, the usual stuff.
Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. If there are comments.
I'll
Give
comment.
us all of your searing hot takes.
Yeah. I mean, if
tell us why we're stupid.
Actually, what I'd love to hear is if anyone ever got to this end and told us what you want to hear us talk about or watch.
Oh yeah, that would be brilliant.
That is a fantastic idea.
That's cool. So yeah,
yes.
thank you for hearing us out.